What is good? What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Marie, and on this channel I talk about sustainable style, clean beauty, and we be trying to drop in some little nuggets of wisdom on how you can live simply and live well. Although I'm a little guilty of not really doing that, but that still is the intention. Overall, clean living, healthy lifestyle. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you why I didn't wear fragrance for 2 years. Completely stopped. So if you're curious to know more, just keep watching and we'll get started. So this whole thing started probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I was watching a YouTube video one day and there was a woman talking about 10 things she is no longer buying. And on that list was fragrances. And I thought, what on earth? Why on earth would you stop buying fragrances? And it wasn't until she mentioned that fragrances have phthalates in them, and phthalates are hormone disruptors. And at that point in time, I'm pretty sure I was in perimenopause, and as soon as she said hormone disruption, I was like, that's it, that's all, end of story, we done. I used to wear Calvin Klein Euphoria, and I stopped wearing that cold turkey because I didn't want to put any more, I don't want to say stress on my hormones, but in that phase of life, your hormones are up and down and doing the dance and doing all kinds of things. So I thought, as hard as it is, if that's something that I could do to minimize that, I'm going to do it. So one thing about fragrances that people probably don't know is that there is a law or a loophole that fragrance companies or brands, they do not have to disclose all of their ingredients. It's kind of like keeping their trade secrets. And that's a little unfortunate because if you see the word fragrance, just the word fragrance on the back of the packaging or on the back of the bottle, that one word fragrance, that means it could contain up to like 1,000 different chemicals in it. Yes, 1,000 different chemicals. And if you're somebody who's having some health issues, you can't even go and look and see what are all the chemicals in that one word, in that fragrance. So I hope they change that at some point, but yeah, that's the deal. They don't have to disclose anything. It's just like beauty brands do not have to test their products for safety before they put them out on the market. It's like, here you go, let's hope for the best. I don't know how that's even a thing, but it is. But if you're wondering what phthalates are, they are chemicals, yes, that help your fragrance last longer. If you're wondering why you spritz yourself at 9 o'clock in the morning and by 5 o'clock you can still smell your fragrance without even having to touch up over the day, phthalates are the things that do that. So we definitely want to be mindful of that. And like I said, I stopped wearing the fragrance for 2 years. I used to wear Calvin Klein Euphoria. I stopped doing that cold turkey. I just went with my own natural scent, my pheromones or whatever it was, because I didn't want to wreak any more havoc on my hormones. Back then, I wasn't even really aware of all these beauty things, to the depth that I know now. I mean, had I known then what I know now, yes, I probably would have stopped a lot sooner. But the other thing about phthalates is they can really cause some health issues aside from the hormone thing. They can cause cancer, you can have fertility issues, and this is not just for women. Men, it can lower their sperm count. So if you're somebody who maybe you're not near perimenopause, but you want to have kids one day, you may want to think upon trying to find a clean fragrance, because these chemicals in these beauty care and fragrances are no joke, and they're silent. They build up over time. I mean, not only do they absorb through your skin, but also through inhalation, and yes, they can build up and stay in your system for a long time. So this is why I preach this stuff and talk about this stuff, because I want you to live a long life. I don't want you to have any health issues. I want you to be able to have children if you want to have children, and, just have it naturally. But it is not all doom and gloom. It is not all doom and gloom. Thankfully, there's a lot more safer options out there on the market when it comes to clean fragrance. And for me, I've done my due diligence, so I'm going to give you some. I've been wearing Henry Rose for the last year and a bit, probably now. Henry Rose was a brand started by Michelle Pfeiffer. Yes, that Michelle Pfeiffer, the actress, a number of years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. Now in Canada, they only started selling it probably last year in Sephora. I don't know if it was like a government bylaw sort of thing where they couldn't ship across the border because you could not order it online. They just did not ship to Canada. But you can find it in Sephora. There's no known endocrine disruptors in there. There's no harmful anything in there. There's about 4 or 5 scents in the line. I think they also have a body spray, a couple of body sprays as well. I would highly recommend checking them out as well. All the fragrances that I'm going to share with you are EWG verified, and if you haven't seen my video on the apps that I use to check my beauty and skincare products to make sure that they're safe, I will try to link that somewhere for you, maybe in the description box. But yeah, Henry Rose, highly recommend. Windows Down, that's the one that I love. Next up, we have Rosie and Ernest. This is a fragrance brand based out of Montreal. They are fairly new. They've probably been around for a couple of years, I think. They now have 4 fragrances, but their first 2 are Be Rosie and Be Earnest. Now, I thought I would love the Be Rosie because I'm a floral kind of gal, but I actually really love Be Earnest. Unfortunately, with them, they don't sell it in a travel size. You do have to buy the full size for Be Rosie and Be Earnest, but their other 2 scents, yes, you can get in travel size. So that's another brand that I recommend. There is also a brand called Dime. Now, Dime isn't a fragrance only brand. They do skincare as well. It was started by a master esthetician, and as estheticians, I think a lot more these days are trying to create products that are good for you, clean, and don't have any harmful ingredients in it. They only had the one fragrance, which is called 7 Summers, I believe, but I read that, I'm pretty sure it's 7 Summers, that it is a good dupe for Baccarat Rouge 540. So if you were into that brand, because that was the thing, that was the fragrance, that was it, that was the business back in the day. I mean, I'm sure there's still people that still wear it, but yeah, all the girlies were wearing Baccarat Rouge 540. That damn near cost $540, I'm pretty sure. So expensive. But yes, I've heard 7 Summers is a pretty good dupe for that. And then we also have Lush. Lush Cosmetics is a global brand. You've probably seen and heard it. It's been around for decades. They have like natural like body care products. I'm not really sure if they do makeup at all, but they do have some fragrances as well that are pretty clean. They're not totally EWG verified, but I think they rate as a 1, which is like as close to being verified as you can get. And then last but not least that I would recommend, or I shouldn't say recommend, but options that you could look into I forgot the name. The brand is Uncommon James, which is Kristen Cavallari. She's like a young actress. I think she used to be on The Hills back in the day, but she has a lifestyle brand and she has a fragrance too. All I know is that the fragrance is a woodsy floral type scent, so I'm really curious to actually really give that a try. But that one is EWG verified as well. So those are some brands. I will link them in the description box that you might want to look into. I mean, for me, I just buy travel size now. I don't do full size fragrance because I would just never go through it. I feel fragrances are pricey. Fragrances have a shelf life. You can usually tell when they're on their way out because after you spritz it, they do have kind of like a musty. There's just a weird after scent that is not right. So I just buy travel sizes now because you could get 2 or 3 for the price of 1 full-size fragrance, and you get a little bit of variety in there. And I know for sure I'll definitely use those up. Obviously, they're convenient for traveling, or you can pop them in your bag, your handbag when you're out and about during the day. So yes, I do find Henry Rose is pretty long-lasting. But that's one thing about clean products that you need to know, especially with makeup. If they're clean, they're not going to have preservatives and all of that kind of stuff, chemicals and harsh stuff that is going to prolong their life for years. So just keep that in mind. But I think that's about it that I have to say about it. I just wanted to come on and talk about this because I feel like it's not being talked enough about, the harms of fragrance, especially on your hormones. And as we get older, we really need to try to keep our hormones in balance, because when they go off kilter, it's like hell on wheels. It's like hell on wheels. I have friends that are in perimenopause and they're telling me about all their symptoms and everything. And I'm just like, girl, you got to make some lifestyle changes. Just make some small lifestyle changes. You can't do everything at once, but just do little steps. You are at least in control of certain things. So just take the steps. Take the steps. You might have to give up some things, but as I said, there are much better options, much safer options out there for you. So that's all I have in this video today, a little bit of a quick one, but let me know in the comments below. Have you heard of any of the brands that I mentioned? Are you ready to make the swap to a safer fragrance? If you found any value in this video, of course, would love a thumbs up. If you didn't like it at all, that's okay too. That's okay too. I'm not for everybody. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you are more than welcome to come over to this little corner of the internet here while we are trying to build a little healthy living, clean living, community through the lens of fashion, beauty, and, home. I want you to live a good, healthy life, You only got one life. Let's make it a good one. Let's make it a good, clean, healthy one. So that is it. That is all. And as usual, thanks for watching, and I shall see you on the next one.